I'm a PhD student in biomedical engineering. I'm using LaTeX for writing papers and manuscripts and reports, and I really like it a lot, mostly because of the aesthetics, because it's really beautiful. But also, even if you don't want to use LaTeX, knowing the syntax will help you, because using Markdown, and most of the Markdown languages are based on LaTeX anyways. I have made, instead of making a PowerPoint presentation, I made this LaTeX file. So after the course, after the lesson, we put it on our GitHub page. So you can use it as a template. It's a full document, you can see, with all the different features that you can use in LaTeX. So it will actually help a lot in learning to just first take a template and copy paste your stuff in it, and then after a while, through use and Googling whatever you want, it's really easy. Everything is there about whatever function, whatever syntax that you want to use. All the information is there. So by first adopting this template, it really makes your life easier, and the learning curve much steeper. So this is my talk. I'm going through, and this is the content. That is, we don't need to make it. If you're making it in LaTeX, you don't need to write it yourself. Write this, for example, yourself. It's really nice. I will talk about what is LaTeX, what are the pros and cons, how to install it, and then we start writing in LaTeX. So the reason you see my name twice is that I wanted to show you in that template that you can have different authors. Yeah, so you can use the source LaTeX. Afterwards, you can see that all the different features of, for example, having affiliation for the author can be there, having a date. We will write these in a few minutes. But let's first go through just a fast intro. So just let me bring this as well. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. So LaTeX is a typesetting language. You already know about it. A key to be proficient at LaTeX is just know that after this, you only need to worry about formatting, and the rest will be taken care of with LaTeX. So when you learn the syntax, when you learn the basic syntax, that's all that you need to know. Some of the pros and cons of LaTeX. First is, as I said, it's beautiful. The spacing between the letters, between the words, between the paragraphs and lines is perfectly designed, and the font is sharp and can be in any size. You can create the links very easily. Well, that's also the same as Word is not that different. A lot of things that would be manual in other softwares like Word, Microsoft Word, here it's automatic. You don't need to care about it. You don't need to, for example, redo the section names if you add a section, or if you reorganize your sections. When you have referred to them in your text, you don't need to go and find all the places that you refer to that section and change the numbering. You don't need to change your references. If you add a reference in the middle, you don't need to reformat all your referencing. That will be that will be taken care of. And what else? And of course, writing math and equations is, I think, the only way that should be done is through LaTeX. And the cons are, of course, it has a learning curve. There's a syntax that you should learn. There's a language that you should learn. It doesn't let you do everything. It doesn't let you take care of exactly how you want to put the image, for example, or how much you want to how much space you want the image to take in your page. That is automatic. You don't have any control over it. But again, that's actually can be one of the pros, because when you're writing a paper for a journal, you only need to, again, keep the content, keep focused on the content. The journal will take care of it. It was actually a week ago that I submitted a paper, and I only sent them the LaTeX file. I didn't need to do any reformatting. I didn't need to care about where my images are, because they only need to change it to their class of documents in the LaTeX, and there's a line on top, and that's all. So yeah, the biggest drawback of LaTeX is that it doesn't have track changes. So if your PI is using is really used to Word and the track change, when you're sending back and forth between the different PIs or collaborators, it's really hard to do it in LaTeX, of course. And so you probably will end up using Markdown at the end if your PI is not fine with sending a PDF, or it doesn't know LaTeX. But again, as I said, knowing LaTeX helps you writing Markdown language, like writing in, for example, other Markdown languages. So I sent it in the email how to install LaTeX. I hope you all have LaTeX installed in your laptops, yes? Or Overleaf, exactly. So the other option is to use Overleaf. It's good to, I like to have it installed, because you will see in the software, it gives you a lot of, these text editors give you a lot of flexibility in working. They give you, they have autocomplete, they give you suggestions, they give you coloring, for example. It helps you to read and go through the document. But Overleaf and Share LaTeX work as well. Okay. So this document, I should also acknowledge that I took inspiration from a document prepared by Dr. Aleman in MIE department, that I went to her class, LaTeX class, 2 years ago, I think, and I learned LaTeX there. So she provided a lot of these contents and shared it to us. So I should acknowledge her efforts. This LaTeX is really, the template that I made is really short. If you want to learn everything, all the details, this document helps you a lot. But again, Googling is the best way when you're going through different phases and you want to write different things. So let's start writing. I'll open my, as I said, I will open my text editor, and the first thing to do with, where is my mouse? Sorry. The first thing to do in LaTeX is to start with document class. See, it opens it for me. I should be able to, hopefully. in edit. Or in view.
Zoom.
Where is Zoom?
View or the editor Zoom. View.
Yeah.
From the editor.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Control. One more. Maybe one more. Yeah, not that much. Okay. So document class article. If you want to have the font, you can also say 12 PT, for example, for 12 points. And then you begin document. Oops, sorry. And end document. And write something in between. And you compile it. Perfect. I don't have N. Here. What did I miss? Yeah, here. The zoom screws up a bit. Okay. Now, if you want to have the title that you saw that I had, usually people make the title on top of the begin document because that's not where the title, I mean, to also, if you open the LaTeX immediately, you want to see the title. So we call it Introduction to LaTeX. And then you have to add another function or word here to make title. So when you add make title and you build it again, that's where it builds. Introduction to LaTeX. If you want to add the author, you add author here. You build it again.
Can you make the title not include the date? Like through make title?
Yes. You have to say date and just leave it empty. If I'm right. Hopefully I'm right. Yeah. So that's basic. That's really what LaTeX is. And that's all. Finished. Now, one thing. A lot of things in LaTeX comes with like any other language, comes with the packages that you can use. So, for example, let's use a package called, what is it called? Let's use package. So when you want to use a package, you call a function called use package, and you call it. And the package that I want is AUTHBLK. Okay. If you use this package, that's really nice because then you can add author. Then the syntax will change a bit. You can add author. Let's say 1 is Sarah, author 1 is Sarah. Then author 2, 1, and well, I'll show you. 2 is Maddie, and then you can add something called call a function called affil, I mean the short of affiliation, and say I want the first affiliation to be, let's say, ECE. And I want the second affiliation to be NVMe. Then when you run it, when you compile it, you have, well, you know that it can be longer, of course. You can have, so you have Sarah and Maddie and their affiliations. You can then, maybe Sarah is affiliated with 2 of them. It can be 1 and 2 for Sarah, for example, and it's that easy. So it makes it really more concise if you use this package.
How do you comment out
with percentage. Okay. Now, so this is the basic thing, and we said that LaTeX is good for writing math. So let's write a few math. If you want to write math in line, you can use the $sign. So I want to use, let's see, what should I write? Let me bring up a function, some math things. Okay, let's say I want to write sum of, maybe I can show you actually at first. I want to write this. Okay, sum of xi greater and equal to 1. So sum, it's really easy, intuitive. And it brings, well, if you're using an editor, brings it for you. Sum of I was the I in S, was it? And till, and this was X. I. So, well, we will see in a second. This is for greater or equal, see, GEU, greater or equal 1, and $sign for closing it. If I'm right, it should be, well, let's have a space. And let's write something, our first equation. Yeah, for I, it's really small. For I in S, all the xi's, I'm doing something wrong. Yes, sorry. We didn't need, this xi was actually in the, it was sum of xi's, not, we didn't have a, you know, we didn't have an upper bound for our sum. So it should be without, with not in anything. What did I do? So sum of xi equal or greater than 1. The same thing if you want to have if you want your equations to have numbers and be standalone, sort of, you can just say begin equation. And add this. And then your equation has a number. In case you don't want it to have a number, you add a star at the end of equation. At some point, if you had double equations, it doesn't work. Why? I don't know why it doesn't work now. It was working last night. Anyways. Oh, it was, sorry. It was an older version that can run, that can do it without. If you don't want it to have, it's just doing it with double dollar signs. So let's do it. We don't want.
So if you're in begin and end,
Number.
dollar sign.
Yes. So here, if you do it with double, it will be again in the middle, standalone, but without the number. If you do double dollar signs. So $1 sign was in line. If you write equation, would be with numbering. If you do double, it would be without numbering. And you can see that it's, as I said, it's the symbols are very intuitive. For some, you say \sum. For greater or equal, it's GQ. The rest of the symbols you can find as well by just Googling or having a document of all the symbols in LaTeX. Let's do something else. Let's see. I have a little problem with my mouse today, sorry. So, yeah, a tip here is to don't skip lines between your equations to have them, because when you have a line, LaTeX interprets it as a new paragraph, and you don't want your equations to be far apart from each other. So don't skip lines when you're doing equations. Let's write a matrix or an array. It's, again, pretty intuitive. You write, for example, begin equation. We want it to have numbers. You start with, we had here, let me bring it again. We had R equals this matrix. So instead to have R as a big capital R, we say R \R equals \left and the bracket that you want. So left bracket, any type of the bracket that you want, just put a left before it. Left that type of bracket. And for each left bracket, you should also have a right bracket to close it. Right, the same thing. Right bracket, sorry. Oops. Right bracket. And then in between, let's put it down. And then in between, you want to say begin array. You want to have an array that is 2 lines, CC, says it's just 2 columns, sorry, A and B. Then you put these 2 backslashes to say that I want to go to second line. So this backslash meaning second line is also, it works also for your paragraphs. So anywhere you are in your figures or in any syntax, when you put these 2 lines, it means that go to the second line. These 2 backslashes.
It's like slash n, like new line.
I think it's similar to yeah. C and B, again, that 2 backslashes. And we had also E and F. We wanted to have E and F. For any beginning, you should have an end. So end array. You don't need to define. And also the right and end equation. Let's see. What did I do? This R doesn't work. What? Sorry, we didn't need a backslash for R. So that's also, that the same thing can be done for example, bigger matrices. You just say, if you want to have 3 columns, you just say CCC in the begin array. And then for putting dots, you just need to say backslash C dots. We may not have time. So yeah, I have written it here. You can follow. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it again. So we want our second matrix. Again, equation. So our R here now is, again, backslash left. Here we want a big, we wanted a big curly bracket, if I'm right for the name. Then we wanted to have beginning, we want to begin an array. Should be 3 now, 3 columns. A and any subscript is by just this, what was that? It's not a hyphen. Underscore. Thanks. Underscores. And I said dots are just C dots for columnar dots. And then we want to have Z underscore 1. Then we go to another line. We have vertical dots. We want to have vertical dots. And D dots for diagonal dots. And again, V dots. Because if you see here, look, V dot, diagonal dot, V dot is my second line. Again, diagonal dot, D dot. And then A underscore N, and C dots, and Z underscore N. We end the array. And we end our, we close our curly bracket. And the nice thing about it is that it stretches. You put just the bracket, but it stretches based on your how big your matrix is. Hopefully, I haven't made any typos, and it works. And of course not. Extra right? Do I have extra? Oh, no. Left, begin, array. Oh, sorry, end. I didn't put the backslash for end, and of course it's not ending my array. So, and here is my matrix. So, what else can we cover? To have, so if you want to say, write this, for example, to have a curly bracket, but not have the second curly bracket to close it, you only need to put a dot at the instead of the closing bracket, and then you won't have anything on the right side. Greek letters are exactly as they're written. If you want to say gamma, it's just backslash gamma, backslash delta, backslash pi, backslash phi. If you want to have it in the uppercase letters, just have an uppercase in the name. Started with the uppercase. Again, very easy. But if you didn't know it, just Google, and there's a document. You go through it and write it down. For figures, let's make a figure now. One main thing that I forgot that is very beautiful was making sections so that you can have that content thing. Let's make section. Let's go to the beginning and say, okay, that first line that I wrote, I want it to be my section intro. You only need to say backslash section and the title. Introduction, I say here. The nice thing is, if you label it, label intro for yourself. I usually do like this, sec intro, because then writing it down or referring to it is easier for you. So always use a little guide for yourself as well. This is section. These are the labels for section, so that when it comes up in your autocomplete, you more easily find it. Then for figures, have fig colon name of the fig for labeling. It's a nice tip. You label this, and then let's first do this. So here comes introduction, and then your section of introduction. Let's do this one. Section how to write math. Label it with sec math. Now, here I want to say, okay, so far in section, in the introduction, we learned, in section something, what, intro, ref brings it for you, ref intro, we learned what LaTeX was, and in section ref, /ref, math, we learned how to write math. Let's run it, compile it. So here you can see it says section 1, section 2. And if you change the name, if you change their order, for example, I bring the whole section intro. Well, it doesn't make sense to make the intro your second section, but imagine for now, I'm bringing it here, for example, I change the order, and now it will say, now in section 2, we learned what LaTeX was. See, the logic of your sentence that is not damaged. And section 1, we learned about math, correct, whatever your section was. So it's really nice to have this ability. Now I want another section, or you know what, let's bring this back. Let's make a section called methods. I'm not good in naming. I'm not creative in naming. I'm so used to. And then make these subsections, okay? Make how to write math, and then make another subsection. How to make figures. And label it as something. It doesn't matter for now. I need to be faster. Now, you saw that I had content. How to make that content list. The only thing that you need to do is to write down wherever you want it to be. Of course, at the beginning, you want to say table of content. Table of contents. And now if you run it, you have contents, introduction, methods, how to write math, how to make figures. It's made for you. And however you change your sections, it will change automatically for you. Let's do a figure. Okay, here. Let me find a figure. Okay. Again, as everything else, we begin, /begin, figure. And you want to, you can leave this placement empty, or you have options to change the placing or to force some placing. For example, H means here, force it here, force the placing here, or T means top, B means bottom. These are, again, things that we can find online. Okay, we don't need that. So now, inside it, you first say centering, to make it to center. Well, it's nice to have a tab here. And you make include graphics. The second thing is include graphics. Oh, I forgot that for this function, you need to have a package. So again, we need to use a package up there. And that package is graphics, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah. Use package graphics. I think, yeah, this is better, graphics. Do I have more? And also, if you want to have subfigures, 2 subfigures in 1 figure, let's do it right now that we are here. You have to use subfigure. These 2 packages. So we go back where we were. So now include graphics, makes sense. Let's do it to, let's do for, I wanted to do first a single figure and then this subfigure, but let's do a subfigure from right now. If I find this. So we make first begin figure and then begin, sorry, we can say begin center. And then subfigure. The caption, a caption I put for now. Your caption goes here. So this is very similar to what you also would do in other. Then you open, you name it here. You put that include graphics that we had. I wanted to put include graphics. For include graphics, you need to have, you can leave it empty. You can define the scale that you want. The scale, let's be 0.4. And then you should have you should either put the full path of your figure where your figure is, or if your figure is in the same folder as your LaTeX file, you just need to call it. In my folder, in the folder that this LaTeX file is, that I made here, I already have a figure here. So I've made this contour.jpg, and I can call it here. If you have it anywhere else, if you have any figure anywhere in your computer, you can just call it by the full path in this between the brackets. Again, we want to have label everywhere as much as we can. Call it fig, subfig, or contour 1. I call it Y. Then I close the bracket for subfigure. And now I start another subfigure. And I basically can just copy and paste the previous one. Let's copy and paste to be faster. Do the indentation. Change the label, contour 2. I think I also have, yeah, I have 2 images, contour 1 and contour 2. Another way to call your or make your scaling is by width, that is the width to the text. And you can say my width, I want it to be 75% of the, well, this is not very good. It makes it, because it's, we want sub-figure, it's not good to do it, but you know that you can also define it by width, define the scaling by width. But I keep the scale because I want both of my figures to be aligned and nicely put together. Okay, I close my sub-figure. I end my centering. I put a overall caption. General caption. And I labeled the whole figure. So if you want to refer to a sub-figure, you can. If you want to refer to a figure, you can separately do it. Faster. And I close my figure, end my figure. Yeah, I think it should work, hopefully. Let's see. Nope. I had the end figure before, from before, sorry. Okay, I didn't need to put it, but that's it. Now I should have my two figures. Let's do citation and we're done. Citation is really easy. Again, you should have a package. It's really nice because it's really nice to sort and order your packages, and this is done, your citations, and this is usually done. There are a lot of packages, but this is usually done by NatBib. Let me go up to make sure. Yeah, I use this because I like the author name type of referencing. I use package. I define it to be author year, sort and compress. This is good if it was numbers, but we keep it anyways. And the package that I want is NatBib. I think it's in nature. And then at the end, you should have a bibliography style. And also you should have all your citations in one document. The document usually looks like this. It's again another package that handles the citations. It's called LaTeX or BibTeX, Bibliotech or BibTeX, and it is. Let me open my citation. Sorry. Nice. This mouse is really killing me. Let me show you a citation. How it looks in a regular text editor. It looks like this. It has a certain format, but you don't need to. If you in old days, people did this manually with their hands. People wrote all their references like this. But these days you use, referencing softwares to have all your papers together. I use Zotero. I'll go to my Zotero. You right click to your library, and you just say export to bib, and it exports to a document like this for you. And the only thing to do is to have it, again, to have this file. Let me show you. This file in the same folder that you had your LaTeX file, and the only thing that you need to do is to call it at the end. At the end of your document, you call bibliography. For example, my library. And then here, you should also say the package that takes care of it. Bibliography style is, for example, for me is ABBR, the same bibliography style of that BibNat package is ABBRVNat. These are again things that you won't even think about later. Now, if I want to cite anything, I would just say this method has been used by cite. If you use cite P, it would be, well, I'll use both. Let's say. Again, you should know your keywords. And also, you can also say cite, and you can see the difference. And if I run it, one thing that I have put in the perfect. Oops, I did something wrong here. Yes, as always. Okay. I have an extra. Where do I have an extra curly bracket? Line 18. Maybe I deleted it. And because I zoomed in, I can't see my lines. The lines should be here. Can I open it? Nope. Let's see.
It's the screen line up on the list. We are at 976 now.
Yeah, good. Now I see it. But it shouldn't be here. I don't have anything here. It should be somewhere that I accidentally deleted something around here. This is fine, this is fine. Yeah. Maybe I didn't end bibliography. No, I can't find it. Let's do it again, make sure. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, let me open another one or delete. It's just, yeah. Anyways, so if we, it takes long to type, or we can.
Copy paste.
Yeah. Just to show you also this last thing. What did I do? we are only interested now in our referencing. So I only add these and the package we have. Those differences won't work. If you should, I have put it in the paper. So it's giving me errors saying that
Library.
there is. My library should be here. Maybe I forgot it. No, it should be. Oh, here, my library. Sorry. Oh, yes. Sorry. Now I should save the new file, of course, in the same directory. So, yeah, document. Huh. I still have it. Where is this?
Still 6 line 18.
This is the first time that this is happening. End document. My BibTeX file? Yeah. It never gave. I'm using this my library all my life in the past months. Oh yeah, maybe. Let's see what other packages I had. Yeah, that's a good point.
The URL package.
Yeah, here. So let's talk about these other packages as well. These are nice as well. First, if you want to have numbers instead of author and year, you should put numbers here. These packages that are here, you will see in the document. They're all good for nicer math symbols. You should also have added these. Color is for having different colors in different, for example, when you refer to different sections and different figures, if you want it to show up as colored, this is for that. You define colors for example, links for, let me show you here. So what a URL color to be, what a link color to be, what a site color to be, they can show up in different colors if you like. You can have, this is really nice, parse skip is for, if you don't like I really don't like it when the paragraph starts a bit with an indentation. I don't like that. If you don't like that as well, use this package. This line number is, again, when you want to submit to a journal, you should always have line numbers. This line number, you will then say, I want to have line number here, start line number, and it starts line numbers. If you comment it, you won't have it. Then the other thing, subfigure graphics, this art block I told you, and there are all different packages that you may need to use. But let's use this. Let's use all my packages in this. Copy all the packages. Maybe it's the packaging. Where is it? I want to just show you. Hopefully it works. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the problem. This probably we also needed this hyperlink thing. So here you see that when I used site, it's only year. It's in the bracket. When I use site P, it's sort of when you want to mention the name. And then the bracket is over the year. And then the references comes at the end, because now I had a really small document, but it comes at this reference comes at the end of your document, any document that you have, any type that you have. So that's it.